Movies. They're great entertainment, but do they influence how we react as peace officers and how we do our job? Movies influence us more than we know. The movies industry uses stunt drivers, blanks, and special effects to sensationalize the action. We overlook this and think that a car will become incapacitated when we fire at the vehicle. Let's take a look at what really happens when you fire at a moving vehicle.
Hey partner, that's Jack Nguyen. He's good to go on a parole violation.
The driver?
Yeah, we'll stop him up here. He's got a passenger. You take the passenger, I'll take the driver.
All right, hey, if they run, let's stick with the driver. Yeah, I'm gonna run the plate real quick.
Ramita 173 King 3 status at 1020, Ray at 1029, Frank Davis.
There have been several recent instances when officers have found themselves forced into a tactical situation where they had to decide if a suspect vehicle was being used as a weapon.
As the driver first backed into police.
Now backing into the police car now. That is assault with a deadly weapon on PD right there. Oh, sideswipes the LAPD. Another one.
In this program, we'll explain some of the tactical options available to officers when a vehicle poses a threat. Our policy states that you shall not discharge your firearm at a motor vehicle or its occupants in response to a threat posed solely by the vehicle, unless you have an objectively reasonable belief that the vehicle or suspect poses an immediate threat of death or serious physical injury to the department member or another person, and the department member has no reasonable alternative course of action to prevent the death or serious injury. The department member should always consider trying to get out of the way. In the extraordinary instance that a department member feels compelled to fire at a motor vehicle or its occupants, the conduct of the involved personnel shall be evaluated in accordance with sound tactical principles, including the following. Vehicles used as weapons are particularly dangerous because officers do not have the ability to stop the immediate threat. If possible, you should always move out of the way of a moving vehicle.
1033, give me the patch.
The action deputies take must be decisive and guided by department policy and the reverence for human life. In actual incidents where officers have fired at moving vehicles, and in tests conducted by our training staff, weapons readily available to patrol deputies have proven ineffective at stopping vehicles. 9mm and .45 caliber rounds were unable to stop a moving vehicle, and a majority of the rounds did not penetrate the passenger compartment. Deputies fired 4 rounds each of 9mm, .45 caliber, double-aught buck, .223 caliber, and 12-gauge rifled slugs at an engine while it was running. The vehicle's engine was not disabled and continued to run even after being driven for over a mile. In all situations, officers should continuously look for avenues of escape and available cover, as well as reassess their contingency plans. Any vehicle can provide a buffer between you and the vehicle posing a threat. It will absorb some of the impact, but may still move. Since the buffer vehicle may move when it is struck, maintain a distance between you and that vehicle. If possible, the first course of action should be for the officers to remove themselves from the vehicle's path. If it becomes necessary for officers to fire their weapons, it is imperative that they focus on controlled, accurate fire. Try to avoid tunnel vision and be aware of your shooting background. Keep in mind that the department-issued rounds may be ineffective since they may not penetrate the metal support frame of a vehicle's door. You should also be aware of sharp angles, which may cause rounds to ricochet off the metal or glass of a vehicle. Even if a suspect is struck by gunfire that causes a fatal wound, it may take several minutes to become incapacitated. If the suspect becomes incapacitated, the vehicle will likely continue on its path without guidance. Whenever officers approach from opposite sides, there is always the possibility of a crossfire situation. This increases when a suspect moves in between officers.
Lameda 173 King 3 status at 1020, Ray at 1029, Frank Davis.
173 King 3, our Frank Davis suspect just back into our... Driver, let me see your hands! Put your hands in the air!
At the termination of a pursuit, deputies should not approach the suspect vehicle.
Hey, slow down there, guys! Back off! Get back, let's get some cover.
If the suspects do not follow repeated directions to exit the vehicle, treat the occupants as barricaded suspects.
Hands in the air! They're not responding to my commands. I'm going to try the PA.
Occupants of the vehicle, put your hands in the air. Occupants in the vehicle, put your hands in the air where I can see them.
173 boy, I need a unit to block off traffic westbound PCH at Oak.
171 and 2.
I also need a unit to block off traffic PCH eastbound at Eshelman.
174, I could be there in 30 seconds.
Need 2 more units to respond here for an arrest team. 2 more units for an arrest team. And Sarge, what's your ETA?
170 Sam in 3.
Reach outside the vehicle. Listen to my commands. Reach outside the vehicle.
They're not responding still.
Driver, reach outside the vehicle and open the door from the outside.
Although deputies are trained to take immediate action, it may be difficult but necessary to refrain from getting involved if there are sufficient deputies engaged in the incident. The handling unit or a designated assisting unit has an obligation to direct other deputies to ensure they are deployed in a safe and effective manner. Sometimes, the increased number of deputies does not result in better safety. Instead, it can result in more injuries to deputies and other problems, such as crossfire situations. Whenever you contact occupants in a vehicle, remember these important tactical points. Avoid placing yourself or remaining in the path of a moving vehicle. Firing at a vehicle, even directly into the engine, is ineffective at stopping. Even with a fatal wound, the driver can continue functioning for a period of time. If the driver does become incapacitated, the moving vehicle may continue on its path. Never fire your weapon solely in response to hearing gunfire. Before firing, you should identify the threat, the target, and have the ability to stop the suspect's actions. If it does become necessary to shoot at a moving vehicle, consider cover and tactical relocation, maintaining a safe distance, incident command, coordination of personnel, tactical approach, viable target acquisition, backdrop, crossfire, and fire management. Training and mental rehearsal are essential elements to successfully handling critical and life-threatening encounters with moving vehicles.